Kaylin is our girl in the blue gi on the left, shaking hands with the referee and then down to business. Kaylin doesn't mess around. She goes right to her strongest position, and that is closed guard. Kaylin has a very simple but effective strategy in all of her matches, and that is set up the triangle, switch to the armbar as needed. And we're going to see her work just that. One of the things that makes Kaylin's guard game so effective is how active she is with her hips. She's constantly shifting, moving her hips, getting angles, and climbing the hips up towards her opponent's shoulders. There is so much information that you gather in a match, and especially in a match with someone that you've never rolled with before, like in this case here. Kaylin is downloading information. As Kaylin does things to her opponent reacts. And Kaylin is tracking and logging all of that information for down the road, as we'll soon see. Constantly readjusting her guard, always looking for angles and getting her legs up towards her partner's head and shoulders. Watch this. Hops the leg over the arm. She's now in the approximate triangle position, switches to the arm bar for the finish. All right, match number 2, shaking hands with the referee, slap and a bump, and they're off. A little bit of hand fighting there so Kaylin can pull guard effectively, and she does. Same strategy, trying to hop a leg over an arm so she can work that triangle. The girl in the black gi does a really nice job of getting a knee up the center, opening up Kaylin's guard. Kaylin is fantastic though at re-guarding and gets back to her strong position. Kaylin's foot is being controlled by the other girl, and so that's making it difficult for her to get that triangle. There is back exposure that Kaylin could go towards, and that's something that I'll definitely be working with her on. Shoots up that triangle, cleared that arm. She's trying to make the switch to the arm bar, but it's just too loose. Look at the framing that Kaylin does on her partner's hip and shoulder. And this allows Kaylin to get that knee in across the hip line, and she is able to re-guard, get back to her strong position, and immediately goes back on the attack. Kaylin gets wrist control and uses that to thread her leg through, and now she's back into the triangle. She's not able to get the angle that she needs, so she abandons it and regroups. Controlling the other person's grips is key in jiu-jitsu, and that's what Kaylin is doing very well right there. Creates a little bit of back exposure that she could have chased, but is instead electing to re-guard and getting back to her strong position. As she re-guarded, she ended up trapping the arm and got herself into the approximate triangle position. Now she's locking it up, she's working her angles, and switches to the arm bar for the finish. Match number 3, will our girl Kaylin do something different? Of course not. She's going to stick to what she does best, and that is closed guard, work the triangle, switch to the arm bar as needed, which she has switched to the arm bar in her last 2 matches. This girl is tripoding up inside Kaylin's guard, creating heavy forward pressure, which makes her very tippable. She's using it to try to crack Kaylin's guard open and to get a pass. As we'll see though, it leads to a lot of sweeps by Kaylin. Kaylin in half guard right now, trying to get back to her strong position. She's framing on the hip, trying to create a little bit of space so she can get that right leg out and get back to closed guard. Good heavy pressure by the girl in the black gi on top. Kaylin able to find the space though, gets back to closed guard. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned that a lot of jiu-jitsu is gathering intel, learning the tendencies of our partners, and taking that information and exploiting it. And that's what's starting to happen here. This girl is creating all this forward pressure to try to break Kaylin's guard open and pass. And now Kaylin is pretty savvy to it and starts using it to her advantage. And as we're going to see, she is able to hunt attacks, including the triangle, because of this information that she gathered. And there it is. She works herself into a triangle, grabs her foot, cinches it up. The girl tries to stack her forward. Kaylin just rolls with it again. The kids are not allowed to pull the head down to finish the triangle. So Kaylin is grabbing her foot and kind of hugging, and then there's the switch, but doesn't quite get it. So she goes back to the triangle, re-secures it, tips her over, and then finishes. Good job, Kaylin.